Welcome to this latest festive episode of the Informing Choices mini-pod. In this short mini-pod series from the Informing Choices podcast, we're exploring what futurists think Christmas in 2040 might look like. And I'm delighted to welcome Rob Caldera back to the mini-pod for this festive project. Rob, firstly, season's greetings.
You too, Steve. Thank you. Thanks for having me back on your podcast.
It's great to see you. Tell me, how different or similar do you think Christmas might look in 2040?
So it's a great question. I love this idea for your podcast. Since it's Christmas time, I'm going to stay hopeful and avoid some dystopian future scenarios.
Nice.
I think that would be appropriate here. So as I was thinking about it, so let me give you a little scenario how I kind of see Christmas in 2040, right? So it's Christmas morning. I wake up. I'm 71 years old. God, can't believe that. But I still feel like I did around 20 years ago. In fact, maybe even better than I did 20 years ago. See, years of taking these NAD boosters, right, which stands for, see if I get this right, nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide, right? So these are boosters that increase cellular repair, and they've helped turn the clock back a little bit on me. Now, these boosters have been around even 25 years ago from 2040, but they really sort of became more common and popular and improved after some groundbreaking research that happened in the mid-2020s, specifically after the World Health Organization declared aging a disease, which was like a major game changer in that sort of life extension research. So I've been taking these and I feel great. And I'm hopeful that in the new year, the FDA will approve these new longevity treatments that have been developed or in development. I mean, the clinical trials I've been reading about have shown some good success, limited efficacy, not exactly the fountain of youth, but it's promising. Maybe enough to keep me going until those nanobots can come in and repair my whole body to keep me going longer. But so like I said, I feel good, and I'm up very early this Christmas, even though it's been decades since my kids were little. And that's because we're opening gifts with the grandkids, even though they're 1,500 miles away. See, it's 2040. Holographic technology now is as common as big screen TVs were in the 2020s. And I recently converted my family room into a holo room, kind of like the old telepresence rooms that big corporations had back in the day, but of course with 3D holograms. But everybody's got these days. They're really common. At least, most middle-class families have these sort of holographic projectors and rooms in their houses. So grandma and grandpa get to practically be there with the kids as they open up their gifts, which, being forgetful as we are, we just ordered yesterday on Christmas Eve, but arrived same day via driverless parcel carrier. Because, hey, that's the way things are these days. Last minute actually works for me. See, if I'm being late my whole life finally had some advantages.
It finally pays off.
Finally pays off, yeah. So we had a great time, with the kids, grandkids opening the gifts, which included Grandpa taking a brief but dizzying journey to play a game with my grandson in his virtual playroom, courtesy of the metaverse, of course. But as amazing as it is, Gramps just can't seem to get used to that experience. Even with all the improvements in the headsets these days, if you could even call them headsets, they're just sort of these, very thin wraps around your head that even allow you to focus just like your own eyes do. And there's even the contacts options, but I'm not going there. That's
Never put anything in your eye.
No, I'm not putting anything in my eyes. That's I'm not going there. Yeah, it still just doesn't sit well with my stomach. I think maybe you've got to feel like the younger generation these days and sort of grow up with that technology.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
But that sounds absolutely fantastic, Rob. Tell me, is one of the big issues that you feel much younger than people who are actually younger than you?
It's a good question. I don't think I'm there yet. I don't exactly feel like I'm, back in my 20s and ready to take on the world. But considering I'm 71 and, don't feel any different than I did 25 years ago. Like I said, maybe even improvements. That's considerable progress these days, or maybe it's all that CrossFit I've been doing too,
Rob, that sounds like an absolutely wonderful Christmas and some really fascinating ideas. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for listening. You can get in touch with Rob and learn more about Rob's work by using the contact information in the description below. In the meantime, do let your friends and colleagues know about the Informing Choices mini-pod, and a Merry Christmas to you. And Merry Christmas to you, Rob.
Merry Christmas to you, Steve. Thanks again for having me.